It has been a long time, and I shouldn't have left you, in the words of Timberland in the Aaliyah song. It's been a long time. So I just kind of want to update you before we get into the conversation. I want to update you on what's been going on with me as it relates to my channel. And I did get a comment in my comment section referencing my content changing. Someone said, "You used to be a pick me, and now you're different." You're not making pick me videos anymore. And what I say to that is, according to the internet, I'm still a pick me. Okay. But I think there are different parts of me and there are different parts of you as you go through life and you have a channel. It is inevitable that you will evolve. You're going to change. You're going to grow. Things are going to happen in your life that are going to shape you, break you, make you happy. And part of this journey really is, can you sustain through all those seasons? Can you keep showing up no matter what's going on? And people do take breaks, and it's okay to take short breaks here and there. But if you are serious, if you are running your YouTube channel like a business, then you are going to keep showing up. And a lot of people quit, a lot of creators quit YouTube because when life gets hard and real and challenging and things happen in their life that maybe they didn't expect, a lot of people, 90%, as they say, 90% of YouTubers, quote, fail, meaning that means a lot of different things, but the majority of people don't make it when things happen in their life. And another thing, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, another reason why YouTubers go MIA and disappear, I think, has to do with they change their mind about something, they change their life in some type of way, and they don't think that their followers, their subscribers will understand. And they ghost their subscribers. What you need to do as a content creator is to find the community of people. It may not be a ton of people, whether it's, a subset of people who will go with you no matter where you go. And what I mean by that is, regardless of what you're talking about, you want people who almost connect with you as a person. And so whether I'm making, quote, pick me videos, or I'm talking about healing and therapy, or I'm talking about beauty and body standards, you want people who are going to be with you when you're talking about those different things. That's actually who I want. I recognize that when I talk about celebrities, when I talk about, certain things, it draws more attention to my channel, to my videos. That's fine. I appreciate it. But the people who I'm most interested in, to be honest with you, are the people that watch these videos. Some of my series, like Conversation with a Black Man, when I have a low view count, 1,000 views, 500 views, I want to know who those people are because those are the people who generally are not there for all the glitz and glamour. Those are the people who are there for the information, the knowledge, for the community, and perhaps for me. And I want to thank you because, yes, to an extent, my content is changing because I'm changing. So it is inevitable, but I always will have my core of who I am. And at my core, there are certain things that is just me. I love Black men. I love my husband. I love Black people. Like, there's just things that are just not going to change. These things have not changed since I've been on this earth. So I think that is what we need to look at it as. Not so much, oh, you were making this type of video and now you're over here. People do that. We've seen it. We've seen people completely change their views on things. And again, that's where it gets tricky because some of those people, instead of changing their views, they disappear or they go on another platform because it could be shame around the fact that they change their mind. It could be a lot of different things, but I don't believe in feeling ashamed because maybe I changed my mind or I changed my perspective. I think that that's humanizing, as I should over time be evolving on certain things, perhaps changing my perspective. Maybe on certain things I won't, but YouTube, the way I see it, is a journey, and it's not a stagnant, like, this is what, and here's the irony. The people who really win numbers wise, the people who win numbers wise and make all the money and all, oftentimes some of them do have that very stagnant, like, this is what I represent, I'm not changing, it can work for a time. But let's talk about the people who, and I don't want to make this about winning or losing, but let's talk about the people who play the long game. That's how I identify myself. I play the long game. I play the long game, and I want you to play the long game. I don't want you to play the short game. The short game is, oh, okay, this is me and I'm not changing and this is how, and all the sort of the controversial things. But the long game is, I'm not sure about that. I need to look into that. That's interesting. I learned something. The long game is, I'm not perfect and I'm not afraid to say I'm not. And you don't like it, you want somebody perfect, then I'm not for you. And I, as a coach, I am a coach consultant for Curated Legacy Media. This is something I talk to my clients about, is playing the long game. And if you listen to this podcast, my assumption is that you also want my perspective on these types of things. And I'm a little distracted because the lighting mysteriously is about to rain. So the lighting is not great. I look shiny. You guys know I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm using a mic, so you should be proud of me. And I actually ordered a new mic, so you're gonna be seeing some new things. A lot of content creators remove a lot of videos from their channel. This is not to shame anybody, but I think this is important to, for those of you who don't have channels, a lot of content creators do this. And part of why they do it is from what I said before, which is, I've changed my mind, I've changed my perspective. Now, from a business standpoint, I can understand it, because if you have content on your channel and it doesn't relate to your new audience. But again, I am very much, in my entire YouTube career, which is 3 years now, I haven't removed anything. I have unlisted 2 videos that are public, and maybe a handful of member videos. And that was only because I was trying to figure things out when I started my membership. But for public facing, 2 videos. One of them was angered people because it was about the Passport Bros and it angered men. The other one, and it was like, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. The other one it was just too personal to my life too. And it's just to be aware that as creators, we're always changing and growing and evolving, whether you know it or not. And so again, if people are removing all their videos, or removing the majority of their old videos, and you only see those new videos, you're going to assume, oh, they've always been this way. No, they just erased 5-10 years of their history on YouTube. That's what I shouldn't say a lot, but that's what some creators do. I think of my channel as a digital museum. There was a time where I actually wanted to be a curator at a museum. And that is to a degree where I get the name Curated Legacy, because I love museums, particularly museums with Black art and Black history. I used to teach history. So I see my channel as a digital museum. And I'm always looking at where I can house things, right? So there's all the different series, the Slim Thick series, the Conversations with a Black Man, the covered series, the uncovered series. I'm always looking at where I can house my content because I see it as similar. If it was a museum, you would curate by getting various artifacts and putting it somewhere. It's going to have a home within the museum. This is why I run my channel like a business. This is why I see my channel very similar to how folks see Netflix. Because when you come to my channel, I want things to be organized as best as I can. So I'm sharing this with you. Perhaps it may help you in some way, but I also want you to understand more about me and more about where I'm at right now. I am working on some projects outside of YouTube. One is my third book. The other I will reveal in due time. Working on these projects. So, and you guys know I also have my coaching and consulting service. And so I am a one-woman show. And my goal, my daughter is actually interested in media. My goal is to bring her on in some type of way with the hope that we can work together and that she can help me. Yeah, I got to figure all that out. But it's possible, but you have to play the long game. And I get visions of what I can be, what this channel can become. And it's deep, it's profound. It's like, whoa, but I have to play the long game. I cannot be tempted by moments of, wanting to go viral. I mean, who doesn't want to go viral? But maintaining a certain level of integrity is important. And, you guys know this channel is not perfect. You guys know I just started using a mic. So it's not about the technical things being perfect, but about my perspective and making sure that my perspective is where I want it to be for those who are subscribed. So the last thing I'm going to say before we get into my conversation with Curtis Brooks, who was asking me about my channel and about content, because he's also a content creator. Actually, there's two quick things. One is, and you all may know this, but there's a difference between being a content creator and an influencer. There's content creator, which I identify as, and there's influencer. So that is, and I'll be talking more about this, but that is something that is important to kind of figure out what track you're on, because they're very different. And so I'm not necessarily chasing the numbers and the brand deals and all that stuff, because I am more on the content creator, educator, coach path. And we're going to be getting more into how you can build a digital business in, I can't speak to the influencer route, well, a little bit, but I, so this is long overdue. When I have the chance, I want to review Dante London. And that is breaking a rule. I sometimes break the rules on my channel. My channel is supposed to be about Black women. Sometimes I talk about Black men. I talked about who was that? Andre 3000. So that was a time where I broke my own rule of talking about a man on a channel that's supposed to be about women. So sometimes I break my own rules, but I want to talk about Dante London, if you guys know who that is. And there's just a lot of things I want to talk about, you guys. So we'll see. The last thing I want to say is, there's a term that I hear people use when they say holding space. And I love that term. And so I like to think of my channel as a place where I hold space for certain topics, holding space for Black men and Black women. Most of my viewers are men. So, but holding space for the things and the stories and the experiences that we can share together as a community. So, with all that said, enjoy the conversation with Curtis. Enjoy.
How do you now create your content? being a married woman, and what
Mm.
things
Ooh, I love
are you
that.
careful to say and not say that you're not feeding the, or to ensure that you're not feeding the agenda that is already out there?
Wow, that's a great question. And as you're asking that, I am actually in the process of going through my own stuff as a
Mm-hmm.
content creator, because I I've been on YouTube now to almost be 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is maybe not even related to me being married, but more so just the cycle of a creator. You want to explore and do new things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be doing a series this summer called the Covered Series, where I'm going to be kind of sharing a little bit more about what it's been like to be married for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously doing that with tact, because I don't believe in airing all, I don't believe in like airing all my
Right.
business out online or nothing
Mm-hmm.
like that. But um I would say that my audience will see my content changing because I'm changing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another very difficult part about content creation, is that inevitably you're going to change as a person,
Absolutely.
and you're going to bring your content along with you, and your content changes. Sometimes that means that you're going to lose people.
Sure.
Your views
Sure.
are going to change. And and I'm going through that now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
different ways of kind of pivoting and doing different projects and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the married piece, and part of it too is because I just believe that, how do I say this? Like, for me, some everyone's content process is different. So some
Sure.
people actually like chase stories,
Mm-hmm.
and I've done this too.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are more like, oh, this is a trend. Let me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't hop on every trend. I'm more like, what do I feel connected to?
Right.
That's just
Right.
how I
Mm-hmm.
create. And so I'm finding that I'm connecting myself to things that I haven't ever connected myself to. And some of that
Mm-hmm.
might be because I'm married and I'm kind
Right.
of looking at different content now and thinking different. And
Mm-hmm.
so all of that will show itself within the next, several months and so
Right.
forth. But um talking about not feeding into the narrative, yeah, I definitely, I don't like when people, I get it, but people say, oh, you're a red pill content creator. I don't like that because I don't see myself like that. Yes, I have content out there that could be interpreted that way, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's more erring on that perspective. But as we're sitting here talking about healing and mental health, and I'm more than that. So I
Mm-hmm.
also don't like, I don't want to put things out there where I'm going to just be labeled as a red pill
Right. 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 Right.
woman, or a woman who's pandering to men. And that's part of this conversation with the Black Men series. It's like, no, I don't
Mm-hmm.
pander to men. I actually like to talk to real men,
Right. 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 Right.
so yeah, my hope is that and YouTube is tough, because it's, to be a YouTuber and to get visibility, there are certain ways that you kind of have to make your videos to kind of get
Mm-hmm.
seen.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
always that delicate balance of like, okay, how do I keep myself, quote, relevant and seen, and put out certain types of
Mm.
videos, but then also stay true to who I am and maintain the integrity, and not do and say things that I don't want to do and say. So
Right.
it's
Right.
I'm
Right.
always trying to balance that, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. So
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't have it all figured
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. So, Mike, I guess my question you kind of already answered. So, do you essentially feel like there's a tug of war, you having to choose one side, perhaps even maybe with the questions the women are asking and things of that nature, or just being pulled or in one direction? Because I noticed that when you do your videos, as I watch your videos, you're very careful how you put your words together.
Thank you for
So,
noticing.
uh, so the question is that do you find yourself having to be just choose your words wisely, that you're
Mm.
not being pulled to one end or the other, or to
Mhm.
remain neutral?
Ah, I appreciate this question because it speaks to my strengths and my weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right. I am careful with my words. Part of that is because, I profile Black women on my channel,
Mm-mm-mm.
and I was actually sharing this with a friend recently. It's really it could be very awkward having a channel where you profile Black women when the majority of people in my life who I talk to on a regular basis are Black women. So
Mm-mm.
I'm always careful because Black women is not, for me, it's not just content. I mean, it's my
Right.
mom, it's my friends, it's
Mm-mm-mm.
my daughter's, a young Black
Right.
lady. So, I so people have said that I'm neutral, or I'm what is that word people say, I forgot how they describe it, but it's kind of like being balanced. Yeah, people say that I'm
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
balanced, and
Mm-mm.
I think that that is true, and I think that is part of just who I am. I
Right.
try to
Right.
see
Right.
both sides, but also it I guess the negative part in that is, people who are balanced are not as polarizing, and you really,
So another question.
oh
So
yeah,
another
sorry,
question.
go ahead, I'm long
So no,
winded.
no, no. I'm listening to you, but so do you find yourself trying to play it safe so that you don't ruffle feathers?
Man, you are Curtis, you asking all the questions. um yes, I
Hmm.
sometimes yes, not
Yeah.
all the time, but sometimes yes, because uh but here's what I will say. As I go along, I play it less safe. So the more
Mm.
comfortable I get on YouTube, I feel more comfortable to not be as safe, but there's still going to be that place where I'm like, you know what? Because here's what's funny. Even though I quote play it a little safe, I still offend people. You would be
Hmm.
shocked
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
how many people
Absolutely.
get offended.
Yeah.
So I'm not really concerned about who gets offended. I just try to really create from my heart. But I do have a boundary that I won't cross. And there might be things that maybe I want to say, but I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm going to reserve that
Hmm.
out of respect, maybe for either people I know, or, the fact that, I do have a daughter who has YouTube, you
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
so yeah, I don't know if I'm really answering the question, but I think ultimately I do play it safe, but I also get my point across, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. I feel like you
Yeah.
can
It
play it
does.
safe and still make your point.
Yeah. It does. It does. One more question for you.
Yeah,
One more question. So
go
and
right ahead.
so and playing it safe, or at least you said moments ago, getting more comfortable on YouTube. What about getting more comfortable in a truth that you're presented with over time doing your videos, that
Love
through deductive reasoning, you're like, this makes sense. And coming to terms or peace with that which you're delivering, and that message speaks louder, but yet though it offends someone,
Mm-hmm.
do you find yourself getting closer to a piece where you can kind of just settle in and kind of nestle in and just say, hey, you know what, this is what it is.
Yeah. No, well, yes. And I feel like no, yes. No, I think I've reached that place with I think well, one, I think people will see me reach that place this summer when I do the covered series.
Hmm.
Also, I think I actually have. See, the thing is, I only really talk about things where I'm comfortable.
Right, right.
Like I try to avoid. If there's something where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just try not to really even talk about it, or
Hmm.
areas of like pain points for me. Like I don't talk about things that I know is going to be a personal trigger to me.
Mm,
So I get what you're saying, and I 100% agree. The more comfortable I get in life, in love,
yes.
in my relationship, in my marriage, the more comfortable I get with my body and myself, or whatever it
Hmm.
is, absolutely, I'm speaking from a place of knowledge and truth and wisdom, and not from, like you said, trying to please. So I'll be honest, when I make videos, I really don't think too much about who's going to be mad and who's going to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not really thinking like that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, there is still a caution, a carefulness, because I don't ever want to come across like I don't love Black women. I know that sounds
Mm.
crazy, but it's almost like if you're not a little
Mm.
careful,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be then grouped in with all the red pill, you hate black women, and it's that's not the case. I love black
Mm.
women.
Hmm.
So I don't, and because I am a black woman,
Right, right,
also
right,
there's
right.
that, you know, I don't know how far I don't know if I'll ever get to a place where I'm like, yeah, I'm putting this out, I'm dropping this, I don't care what nobody says. Like, I don't know if I'll ever just get to that
Right,
point.
right, right.
I'll probably always have a level of like, hopefully I articulated this with care and love.
Right, right, right. No, I completely understand what you're saying. I think for me, it's more like at some point for for I think as we come into a truth,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that truth gives us peace, brings peace to us. And and that truth is tried, obviously. That truth is tried over and over at different times, at different intervals throughout life. And we can find ourselves still resting on that, kind of just getting nestled in that truth. And I think that the challenge might be, and perhaps even with black men as well, and it's that much to what you said earlier, I think to what you said earlier is that change is not easy. And
Uh,
we've got to give up the dysfunction first to know where we're at, to know that this thing that I'm dealing with is absolutely chaotic. It's dysfunction. I don't even know why the heck I've been trying to hold this hand up or just hold all this together. And
mhm.
so that being said, I believe that in life presents stop signs.
Mm. Mhm.
Whether the thing falls apart or the man doesn't show up and you're sick and tired of the man not showing up and not following through on his word, or it could be anything. But at some point, life presents stop signs for us. And I think sometimes we don't acknowledge those stop signs, and we find ourselves having to continue to pick up the dysfunction, put it all back together, trying to put the puzzle back together again, when in
Mhm.
fact that there's a there's a shift that's coming, a change that's coming,
Yeah.
and it's a new way of looking at things, a new way of doing things. Like you were saying, going from single to being married now, you're coming into certain truths, and though you might have experienced certain challenges, you've got to see yourself through those challenges. Know that you're not being led in the dark. There's going to
Yeah.
be absolute light at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And so I think for myself as well as a content creators, yourself obviously more so than I am, but as content creators, I think there's a level of responsibility that we have to come into the truth,
You got
and
that
that
right.
and to share the truth with others. And as you
Mhm.
said, some people are going to be offended with that truth, but
Mhm.
the stop signs show up for a reason in life, and we
Mm.
have to be prepared to share that in love. And just because they don't receive it in love doesn't mean that they don't hear you.
Mm. Now that's a whole word right there.
You know,
You are
and
correct. Because I have a feeling that, some people who had issues with some of the things that I've said, women, I always just feel like they'll learn. I'm like, I'll go ahead, you'll see for
yeah,
yourself. And not that I have all, not that I know everything or anything like that, but there's just some things like you said that are tried, that like if they haven't been to the place, if you've never been engaged, you've
right.
never been married, or maybe you've been engaged, but you've never been married, you've never made it a year through marriage,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
how can you tell me, like, how can you bash me and what I'm saying when
Right, right,
you've never
right,
even
right,
been where I am at all?
right, right.
So, and also the funny thing is there's a couple videos that I want to put out. And then, and this is just part of the growing pains of a creator. They're very
Mm-mm,
much related to like my journey of being in therapy,
mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
related to one is kind of related to like, the new being newly married and all that.
Mm-mm,
And I
mm-mm.
haven't put them out because I think I'm going through that very much like, oh, this is not what people quote signed up for. And
Mm-mm.
so it'd be interesting to see, one, if I ever put these videos out, and then two, what the response will be, and if I start another channel, because it's hard. It's like
Could you
I'm
could
go
you in
ahead.
fact could you in fact because I mean and I love it because I've seen your change. I've seen your growth. I've been watching your videos for a while now, so I've absolutely seen your change and your growth and just how you deliver the content. It's been different from initially how you deliver the content. So I've seen your change. I've been watching you for a while. So uh, could it be possible that you have this almost kind of like how we're talking? You have this conversation with the ladies, or do a video where you have those conversation. You're having that conversation, recognizing that hey, even to be single for 6 years, 7 years, there's a change that we're all going through,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to now be married, there's a change that I'm going through. So the content where I was sharing with you when I was single,
Right.
though it may appear to be different, this is the change that's taken place.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly the change that's taking place. Your how you're seeing things from a different perspective now. You're trying to
Yes.
incorporate all of that into to
Yes.
part of you still trying to remain the same, but you're not going to remain the same.
Got that. You are so on it. You are that. There it is, right there. And the paradox here, Curtis,
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
is YouTube channels in many ways are kind of built on you remaining the same
Mm-mm.
because that's what people signed up for, and you
Right,
feel like you
right,
got to
right.
keep doing it. And that is the tension, is pleasing the people who want the same thing that I've kind of been putting out, versus the new me and what my heart is kind of wanting to do now. And
Maybe you could say, hey, take this journey with me. Remind them that they're on this is a life journey.
you're right.
They're looking through life through the lens of Nika.
Yeah. No, you are
And
absolutely right.
and so and again, it's just a suggestion because I think sometimes we to what you just said, uh people are looking for people to remain the same. And
Yeah.
if we remain the
I'm
same,
realistic.
because your viewers, your audience, they're not remaining the same. They're just looking at the same. They're looking at this. They want to look at the same style of content.
Yeah. Now that's a very good distinction too. They're not even remaining the same.
Absolutely.
So
And so
why do
perhaps,
you want to keep looking at that? Because you're different
a-
too.
absolutely. And I'm just saying, as just as a suggestion, maybe you can incorporate that into a video and let them you're taking a journey with me. You're on this journey with me. And
Yeah.
we're
I
all
love
on a journey. And to remind them, for those who have been with me for a while, you've been watching my content, you have changed also. You're
it's
looking
true.
at the same content. You want the same content, but is this content satisfying the change that's taking place in your life? So take this
Yeah,
journey with me,
it's
you know?
real.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
I'm still in that. I think I have said that before, but you're gonna start hearing me say
Oh,
that more. And just know
right.
that it came from you, Curtis.
No, it's all good, sister. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. This is
It's all
this is
good.
really great.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
I
a
enjoyed
great
this, Nika.
conversation.
Pleasure meeting with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.